Just a word about dampening. We talked about the springs before. If you want to adjust to get more dampening on the high end, what I would do would be to tighten the spring tower here. And I would turn it clockwise this way from underneath. If I was looking from the bottom up, I would go clockwise to tighten. If I want to get more dampening on the low end, of course I'd reach in from over here into that spring tower. Very easy to reach. Okay, right there, I would tighten that one if I want more dampening this way. And the test for that should be regulated in our final inspection, but you never know in travel, you might get it off a little bit. We want to make sure that those two notes and those two notes are both released at the same time, which they are. They're dampening at the same time, so this is well regulated. Likewise, sharps and naturals, you want to make sure that those also come off at the same speed, and they are. If I wanted to adjust that, then just over here, this is our patented not resonator adjustment, it's a dampening adjustment. If I tighten this, it takes the damper bar and tilts it down to favor the sharps. If I loosen it against the springs, it tilts the damper bar this way to dampen the naturals a little sooner. So this knob and that knob, you can adjust each quadrant separately to get perfect dampening. Here's a little bit more information about adjusting the dampening system. We talked earlier about how the two spring towers can adjust the high to low range. And we talked a little bit how this dial over here and this dial over here can adjust the angle of the damper bar in our patented system to compensate and give more quick dampening on the sharps or more quick dampening on the naturals. But suppose you have one note. Suppose the D sharp is ringing a little bit too long, and all the other notes are fine. Well, go into your repair kit, open it up, and you have two different kinds of shims here. Very useful little repair kit. There's some other nuts and bolts and other things that you might have use for at some point. A wrench for tightening the resonators, etc. But here we've got two types of shims. This felt, of course, you can use anywhere. Can't imagine that you would get a rattle, but you can use that to dampen something. And then this is polyethylene tape. So what I could do would be this cover on the damper bar is just Velcroed underneath. So I can peel back the black cover, peel it back, and then if this D sharp is ringing too long, I could peel off the backing here and put this little shim underneath where the D sharp would touch the gel pad. And that's only about 10/1000ths of an inch thick, but you'd be amazed what 10/1000ths of an inch thick will do. This is more like about 40/1000ths of an inch. So between those two, I could shim up the damper pad a little bit higher here to make that D sharp dampen sooner. So one more little point here in terms of your own maintenance. We have a spring here. What's that for? Well, that's of course to keep pressure on the string. How tight should the string be? Well, it's always a trade-off, because here's the situation, that the tighter the string is, you might get a little bit more bar ring, but you also might get a little bit more noise out of the frame, or it's possible with certain types of cord that you would actually get some buzzing. Now, we supply a very quiet cord that really shouldn't buzz at all, but you should still have tension here so the bar doesn't sag down and perhaps touch the wing. This is about how I think you'd want it, with at least that much tension. This one, if you look at this spring, this is too loose. There really isn't any tension on this. So how would I tighten that? Well, I take it off the end post, I loosen the knot, and I'll pull it closer to the side there. Pull the knot tight again, and then go around the bar post, and now I've got quite a bit more tension. And the strings, you can just leave like that, you can cut off, whatever you want to do, but now I have pretty much the same tension on those two springs.